Viewers, let me tell you something that has happened today that is extremely unsavory. Rhea Chakraborty has decided that she wants Times Now gagged. She doesn't want us to report this story anymore. Viewers, Rhea Chakraborty is clearly rattled by Times Now's investigation that has thrown up several inconsistencies in the case thus far. And her team, her legal team today, stood up in the Supreme Court, metaphorically that is, of course, and said that I don't want this so-called media trial. Now, this is very rich coming from Rhea Chakraborty, because Times Now has accessed information that suggests that people close to Rhea Chakraborty have been approaching what they call is friendly media. In fact, we have even been shown the door from a press conference to say you're not friendly media. And if you're not friendly media, we don't want to address you. We don't want to put our side of the story to you. In fact, viewers, we are being told that several news organizations, mainstream news channels, have been fed information to carry, which is favorable to Rhea Chakraborty and reinforces that Sushant Singh Rajput's family was debauched. In fact, her sister even molested Rhea Chakraborty. They've been fed information to suggest that Sushant Singh Rajput was a failed actor who had no prospects. And most importantly, viewers, these channels have been fed information to suggest that this was a suicide born out of bipolar disease, and that Sushant Singh Rajput had become insufferable to live with, and therefore even Rhea Chakraborty, who loved him, had to leave. And these channels have been faithfully carrying this narrative out, viewers, for almost 60 days. On the 14th of this month, which is Friday, 60 days would have passed, 2 months would have elapsed since Sushant Singh Rajput's unnatural, untimely death, viewers. And channels like Times Now, who have raised questions, who have pointed out that there are inconsistencies. We are only here for a fair trial. We are not here for a media trial. But we do believe, viewers, that there have been numerous problems with the manner in which the Mumbai Police has gone about this probe. And that raises several questions which we are entitled to ask, and we will continue to ask, viewers. Rhea Chakraborty and all of those who are supporting Rhea Chakraborty for reasons that are quite well established, we will not stop. We will ask those questions. We will expose the truth, because the truth matters to individuals who have a dream. And that dream is to break through the glass ceilings, some invisible, some clearly visible, in Bollywood. It should no longer be just a club, incestuous club of a few people who want to lord it over the country. That cannot happen anymore. And if people dare to dream, their dream should not be snuffed out. It's Sushant Singh Rajput today. It could be someone else tomorrow. Viewers, I got today an application from a prospective journalist who wants to work with Times Now. And he said, I am being suffocated in Bollywood. I want to return to mainstream journalism because there is credit snatching, politics that goes on in Bollywood. That's what the ordinary Indian goes through, who wants only to succeed, viewers. And today you want to shut us down just because it is becoming uncomfortable for you to stand up and answer questions, because you know without Times Now, you wouldn't have got the summons from the Enforcement Directorate, and the CBI would not be looking into this matter. And it is very, very rich coming from Rhea Chakraborty and her team, especially when Rhea Chakraborty herself wrote to via tweet the Union Home Minister Amit Shah asking for a CBI probe. So what is changed, Rhea Chakraborty? What is changed? What is changed? Uddhav Thackeray and the Maharashtra government? What's changed? That you have come out and backed the slender campaign against Sushant Singh Rajput's sisters. Sushant Singh Rajput himself was dealt with in a very unfair manner, viewers, by his own contemporaries. The day he died, they started saying that we saw this coming. You see, he was completely over the edge. Those same people tried to paint him into a basket case, psychological basket case, even though they knew he was getting offers, and even though Times Now exposed till the very last hours of his life, he was getting offers from the top producers and directors of Bollywood. Someone did not like this. And therefore today, when we've asked the question, we've blown open this entire case and this conspiracy, closed conspiracy of convenience, conflicts of interests, and most importantly, viewers, of discrimination. These people are rattled. You can't shut us down. I want to go straight across to some of our reporters, because viewers, before I bring in Arunil, I want you to listen to the ambulance attendant who Arunil tracked. Now this is a very important conversation, viewers, because this individual opened the door and was the first to see Sushant Singh Rajput and move his body out. And he says that this crime scene was not one that is concomitant with the facts you get when there are suicides. He believes there's been foul play, murder. Listen to this.
पहले भी सुसाइड वाली बॉडी देखते होंगे ना, ऐसे पंखे से लटकता है कोई।
सुसाइड वाली बॉडी रहेगी ना भाई, सुसाइड वाली बॉडी रहेगी ना। सुसाइड वाली बॉडी पीली नहीं पड़ती।
पीली नहीं पड़ती?
हाँ, पीली नहीं पड़ती।
अच्छा, और ये जो तुम बोल रहे हो निशान का, वो भी नहीं होता है क्या सुसाइड वाली बॉडी में?
नहीं, निशान होगा ना, निशान है ना, फांसी से लटकेगा, फांसी से जैसे लटकेगा ना, जब तक फांसी से लटकेगा ना, तो पूरा रस्सी भी रहेगी, इसकी ओढ़नी भी रहेगी, लटकेगी। बराबर। हम लोग को इतना मालूम है।
तो इसमें क्या लगा तुमको?
जब उसका पैर ऐसा मुड़ा है, फांसी लेगा तो आदमी पैर कैसे मुड़ जाएगा?
पैर भी मुड़ा हुआ था?
हाँ।
तो मतलब
पैर पे निशान नहीं आएगा? पैर पे निशान कैसे आया?
पैर पे भी निशान था?
तो पैर है ना, पैर ऐसा मुड़ा हुआ था, दोनों पैर उसका।
अच्छा,
दोनों पैर है ना, उसका मुड़ा हुआ था, बरोबर। ऐसा पैर वैर मारते नहीं अपन।
हाँ, जब कोई अपने को ये कहता था पैर मारते, बट उसमें तो फांसी लेने के टाइम पे भी आदमी पैर मारता ही रहेगा ना। रे
फांसी लेगा, पैर तो मारेगा ना, पैर कैसा मुड़ गया उसका? तड़पेगा, बॉडी है ना, तड़पेगी। फांसी लेना में बॉडी तड़पेगी। और फांसी लेने के बाद ना फेस बाहर आता है।
हाँ, तो इसमें नहीं आया था क्या?
फेस नहीं आया था ना भाई, फांसी लेने के टाइम फेस बाहर आता है।
तो फोटो में तो फेस दिख रहा था मेरे हिसाब से दोस्त।
क्या
फोटो में फेस नहीं दिख रहा था क्या?
हाँ, फोटो में फेस था आपके?
नहीं, मैंने तो नहीं देखा यार
फेस। वो तो पकड़ो बॉडी को।
अच्छा, और वो निशान कहाँ पे था? नेक पे था, गले पे था?
हाँ, गले पे निशान है ना, निशान पूरा आएगा गले पे। फांसी लेगा ना आदमी,
पूरे गले पे आएगा, बराबर बोल रहे। हाँ,
फांसी जो रहेगा ना, तो गले पे पूरा निशान आएगा।
हाँ, इसमें
फांसी लिया उसने,
इसमें लटका ऐसा लग रहा है क्या तेरे को?
हाँ, फांसी रहेगा।
हाँ,
फांसी रहेगा ना, तो पूरा लटकेला आदमी ना, लटकेला रहेगा और मुंह से फेस है ना, ऐसा निकलते रहेगा, पूरा फेस ना चिपकेला रहेगा, ऐसा है.
Inconsistencies, of course. This is an individual who is not a trained medical practitioner, Arunil, but even he, because of his experience, knows when something is not quite adding up. Very quickly, Arunil, I want to ask you a straight question. Has this individual been questioned by the Mumbai Police? Has his testimony been taken? If not, why?
Well, unfortunately, Rahul, the testimony of this individual has not been taken. He was very much present in the same room. The Mumbai cops were also there. But this person noticed all these observations. Yes, he might not be a trained person, but he has experience in dealing with mortal remains. He has experience in dealing with people who have committed suicide as well. And out of his observation and experience, he basically spoke at length, mentioning 4 different points. However, unfortunately, the Mumbai Police has not noticed any of these problems. And also, in the next day itself, after actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death, it was the Home Minister publicly announcing that it was a clear-cut case of suicide and there was no investigation that was required in it. If you look at it, the entire probe was basically interrogating top producers, top directors. But Rhea Chakraborty, who has been seen as the main accused by the family,
now think about it, viewers. Think about what Arunil is telling you. Think about this very, very clearly. It took more than 48 hours, almost up to 60 hours, for the forensic team to even reach the room, to carry out a forensic examination, to collect clues from that room. Why? Why was this delay? On the day Sushant Singh Rajput's body was discovered, the Home Minister of Maharashtra comes out and says it's a suicide. Who told him this? Is he Sherlock Holmes? How did he know? Did little birdie come and tell him? And how is it that these individuals who are pointing out to inconsistencies haven't been questioned? That's the fundamental question today, viewers. So was this probe already being pre-directed, predetermined to lead to a particular conclusion? And now, when the can of worms is opening quickly to reveal the rot, they're trying to muzzle times now. They've gone up to the Supreme Court, viewers. It's not a joke. And I can tell you, in the past, these kind of pleas sometimes have really irritated the courts, can easily backfire. But there have also been times when proceedings and all sorts of other things have been banned from reporting. So someone is trying their level best to suppress this. And I want to come back to Prashant as well as Siddhant in just a few moments, but I want to get a couple of inputs in. Ishkaran Bhandari here with us. Ishkaran Bhandari, what is it, in your assessment, you're a lawyer, very experienced lawyer, and you tell me, have we done anything wrong that the Supreme Court should just waltz in because Rhea Chakraborty thinks it's inconvenient and muzzle us?
Rahul, you have done the worst thing in the world. You have raised questions on an investigation which was not happening. So obviously people who are petrified of you raising your voice. I was on your debate where I saw that torn pages of the diary that you broke. We are on your debate where you have broken that an ambulance driver who is an expert in the sense that he has seen bodies hanging before says this does not appear to me to be a body which was hanging naturally, in the sense that it was not a person hanging himself naturally. He has come on record and said that his legs were bent, that his body was yellow. So this is all that you are breaking on your channel. They want this to be gagged so that the Mumbai Police, which is not taking these statements on record, does not raise these questions. So this is a natural attempt to gag you, but the rest be assured, I do not think this will succeed anywhere in the world, in any democracy. Media reports on matters which are of prominent public interest, and law and order and investigation on which multiple questions are being raised is in public interest. This attempt is most likely to backfire on them. It will boomerang on them.
Okay, big scoops coming out from the Enforcement Directorate grilling, and I will go across to Siddhant in just 30 seconds. But I want you to listen now, viewers, to this little clip of when forensic scientists, even though they got there 60 hours too late, they were still apprehensive about something. And they said, I hope the media doesn't get a glimpse of this, because then we are done for, our goose is cooked. Watch this interaction. Viewers, now look at those pictures. Those are of the ligature marks. And you saw the scene. Sushant Singh Rajput's body on a bed. And the distance between the bed and the fan, and that green flimsy cloth that is hanging from the fan, is said to have been the great strong rope from which Sushant Singh Rajput allegedly committed suicide. Now, you would have had smooth ligature marks, not perforations. There are inconsistencies. Dr. Dinesh Rao, forensic expert, very, very experienced, is also with us. Dr. Rao, I want you to tell us very simply this. No medical jargon. Do you believe there are inconsistencies? Simple.
The mark which has been there on the neck of the Sushant, may not be typical, but definitely it is not unusual.
May not be typical. May not be unusual, but certainly are not typical. Now that is as layman terms as Dr. Rao could have put it. I also want to bring in Dr. Bagai, Padma Shri, very experienced. Dr. Bagai, there are many inconsistencies here. Take us to at least 3 of them.
Good evening, Rahul. Very quickly, in a young adult who's otherwise medically healthy and he is extremely fit, who has a sudden death, this we would call as an unnatural death. And an unnatural death is a medical legal case which requires investigation. The first point is, what do? We collect, we preserve and analyze evidence. That has to be done as quickly as possible in an uncontaminated site. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is the autopsy has to be detailed, including the toxicology report, the forensic analysis along with the toxicology report, and the fingerprints and the DNA analysis. I think the DNA analysis is extremely important. We have the technology, we should use it. And point number 3 is thorough interrogation of every person who was first at the site, that's the first contact person, right to the time of the medical professionals who've done the autopsy, including the ambulance drivers, including the people who've handled the body or touched the body initially. I think these 3 points are going to give all the clues, and I'm absolutely clear that if there is any suspicion, if there is any doubt, it requires the highest level of investigation. I think as Indians, as honest Indians, as people who are watching, we have a right to know, and justice should be equitable, it should be righteous, it should be without any cognitive bias.
Okay. Now I want to ask 3 questions. Ishkaran Bhandari, I want to ask you, have you seen the forensic analysis report? It's been almost 60 days. On the 14th, it will be the 60th day. Have you seen the toxicology report till now? It's going to be the 60th day. What's going on? Where are these reports?
You have hit the nail on the head that why aren't the reports out? But without these reports, we had the Home Minister saying it's a case of suicide.
There you go.
So this is so important for audience to understand. What if his body had some poison, was sedated or whatever, and you suddenly had a magic wand that day one you were calling it a case of suicide, not alleged suicide, not mysterious death. This is extremely important for people to understand. And second point, on the image you are showing of height of bed and fan, that is why on your channel, I asked a gentleman called Siddharth Pidhani what is the height, and his answer is on record, and that answer will be devastating as the case proceeds.
I am not wanting to play coroner-in-chief, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, but I can tell you that on the face of it, there are inconsistencies. These inconsistencies need to be explained. There are questions being asked. They need to be explained. I'm not here sitting and saying that, oh, this is absolutely true or that is absolutely false. Questions, questions and questions not being investigated. The larger question, however, the one that concerns us most here at Times Now, is this attempt to try and gag us. This is shocking. It's shocking. It is to wield a mallet to smash a small inquiring voice. And I don't think that's acceptable.
Yeah, good evening, Rahul. You know, this step by the accused was actually not unexpected. To be sure, this is a legal mechanism the defense has the right to. And I quote from her affidavit, quote, "Attempts have been made to proclaim her guilty," unquote. Now, Rahul, I have been in the know of your coverage over the last month, in fact, last 2 months, and I cannot find a single instance where you proclaimed her guilty. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know, media has a responsible role to play. Remember, even the court praised it. Had it not been for the media, the killer of Jessica would never have been caught. Secondly, we don't have a jury system, so there's no question of a mistrial or not able to find jurors. But you know, more worrying is the Maharashtra government that is behaving like Idi Amin, who said, "I can guarantee freedom of speech, but I cannot guarantee freedom after speech." You have ruffled a lot of feathers, Rahul, with your relentless coverage of the Sushant murder case, especially feathers of whose normal habitat is Antarctica. The question is not how rattled and ruffled they are. The question we should be asking is, why are they rattled? Are you a policeman? Are you an investigative agency? No, you're a journalist. And all you're doing is telling people that something is not right in the manner in which the Mumbai Police has acted.
Yeah.
Is that a crime?
Yeah.
From concluding so quickly that it was a suicide despite absence of suicide note, to leaking the photos of the deceased, to not sealing the flat and carrying out a thorough forensic examination of the crime scene, to not taking a written statement of a man allowed to walk all around the crime scene, to not probing the money trail for more than a month, to playing games with the Bihar police counterparts. This case stinks. But what worries me is the following, that instead of admitting their botch-ups, they will now come after you. Question is not if, Rahul, but when. Stay safe.
Once too often with the Maharashtra government, my colleague Megha Prasad almost landed up in jail for reporting the facts during the COVID crisis. Everyone said what a miracle was being performed in Maharashtra. All the tail-wagging media. It took Times Now to point out the lapses, and we all know what happened after that, viewers. Once the metaphorical skeleton started tumbling out of the closet, we realized that the scale of the COVID problem was gargantuan. Luckily, they hadn't bought our silence. And then, when we started pulling out the evidence, they had to act. Thousands of lives have been saved. And I want to go straight across to Arunil, and I want to go across to Siddhant. Siddhant, I believe that the Enforcement Directorate is homing in on certain inconsistencies. Financial link is really coming back to haunt Rhea Chakraborty. She controlled his entire finances, we are being told. Elaborate.
Well, that's absolutely right, Rahul, and this is perhaps the reason that Chakrabortys are again inside the Balatpur office of Enforcement Directorate. Now, the fact remains, I have managed to speak to sources in Enforcement Directorate, Rahul, right before your show, and they have given confirmation on certain facts which I would like to put out for our viewers. First, Rhea and Chakrabortys have failed to explain the discrepancies in the ITR and the money in their account. At the same time, they are failed to furnish the entire details, investment details of Chakraborty. And one very interesting point, Rahul, here I would like to make is that you know that Enforcement Directorate seized Rhea's phone. And now the phone dump analysis initial report has come, and we have managed to get it confirmed from ED sources. Now the report suggests that Rhea, after 8th June, was in touch with Director Mahesh Bhatt first. Second, Rahul, that particular data report also says that Rhea was in touch with one very famous director of Bollywood, and she was asking for a help from that director. Now, what is that help all about? The help was to get a number of a journalist who can do positive story in favor of Rhea Chakraborty. Now, that has come in Enforcement Directorate's probe. So, you know, Rahul, that how Rhea's lawyers have sent messages to all of us saying that I'm not going to speak to you, because you guys are biased and you guys are doing one-sided story, making allegations on us. So Rhea and her team were searching, I have been searching for a journalist,
and
those
viewers,
who can do positive
at that
stories.
point, let me just tell you, Times Now has carried every statement that has come out of Team Rhea's camp. Every statement. Her video statement, her statement showing that this was an entire witch hunt, her statement in court, most importantly, videos that she's put out to show how normal her relationship with Sushant Singh Rajput are. All of that put out diligently in the interest of balance, not bias, viewers, not bias. But that doesn't mean that we are not going to report a story in its totality. Ishkaran Bhandari, yes, you want to come in. Before I bring in Dr. Sumant C. Raman, also with us, Priyank Tripathi. Yes.
That is why it was so important for Mumbai Police to have seized all these electronic devices. I wrote to Mumbai Police, which Times Now carried. They refused to seize these electronic devices. And second point, on media, well, when you yourself reveal WhatsApp chats between you and Sushant Singh, alleged WhatsApp chats, we don't know it's true or not, between you and Sushant Singh Rajput, then you should be the last person to complain to media. We saw Rhea Chakraborty releasing chats herself. So why?
And you're trying to fix media coverage in your favor.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not in any way problematic. You're the one who said, we want a CBI probe. You wrote to the Union Home Minister, Rhea Chakraborty. And suddenly, you are now siding with the Maharashtra government that doesn't want a probe. You've had conversations with police officials, senior ones, who have no business talking to you. What conversations? We don't know. No response coming from you. Don't you owe it to the public to tell us how unauthorized calls are being made between you and senior police officials who are part and parcel of the probe, who have a power to, at some way or the other, influence the investigation? These are questions which are legitimate. Dr. Sumant C. Raman, problematic? We should investigate lynchings. Must get a medal for that. We should go out and investigate the right wing in this country. We should investigate Modi, Amit Shah, slander them, become part of Rafale's lies. No problem.
Is that a list?
No problem. No problem.
No.
Dr. Sumant C. Raman. But we can't.
Rahul.
But we can't ask questions of Uddhav Thackeray. We ask questions of Uddhav Thackeray, it becomes a problem.
But
Tell me.
having started as Sherlock Holmes, you're now looking increasingly like the Pink Panther. I'm really sorry to say this. Here is a case where you don't have a suspect, you don't have a motive, you have an autopsy report which clearly says that it was asphyxia caused by hanging with no signs of a struggle. You have a viscera report which says that there are no toxins.
Have you seen the toxicology report? Have you seen it?
No. It's on
Have you
Times
seen
now.
it?
I haven't seen the report.
I'm sorry.
You put it out.
I'm sorry.
1 minute.
I think,
It's
no,
on
one
Times
second.
now. Sorry.
One second. Allow me. If you don't, do I know what I put out on this channel, or do you know?
27th. Let me read it out.
It's a preliminary report, sir. Wake up.
Fine.
Smell the coffee.
Preliminary.
It's not a spectro.
report.
No, it's not a. No, 1 second. It's not a spectrography. Please understand.
Rahul, we are really clutching at straws, Rahul.
I'm not clutching at straws, sir. You, my friend, have a problem.
Put out the report.
You want to come here and you want to personalize. You want to come here and you want to personalize things.
I'm not
Okay.
personalizing it.
No, hang on 1 second.
Let me read it out for you.
Hang on 1 second. We are not bumbling fools sitting here. And neither is the public of India. There is an individual who has had much more experience than you ever could have, sir, of examining a crime scene. And he says there's a problem. You've just heard You've just heard a forensic expert. You've heard videos. Listen to this video, viewers. This is not Rahul Shivshankar talking. Listen, this is the forensic team of the Mumbai Police talking. Listen to them. Let's play it out. What does he say? If this video gets out, we are done for. What are they hiding? Have I cooked that up? Let's play it. Sumant C. Raman, listen. You may have no consideration for the truth. You may care nothing for Sushant Singh Rajput, fine. But don't today reduce a matter of concern to a large number of people, not least the family of Sushant Singh Rajput, to a triviality just because you want to protect a couple of opposition state governments. When it came to the Sachin pilot story and we were exposing things, you said it was made up. Today Sachin pilot has crawled back into the Congress camp. Crawled back. Why? Why? Because some of his MLAs have gone back. How do you think they went back? What do you think? No, what do you think happened? No, do you think they suddenly saw the light?
There is no...
Suddenly their grievances went away? They're all going to get medals of honor? No, sir, no. When money changes hands, and I'm not saying it did in this particular case, when it goes from one direction to the other, you have a problem. According to you.
Tell us.
When they dissented, oh, they were being bought by the BJP. Now when they've gone back to Gehlot, why don't you say he's bought them back? You see, you can't, because you're biased.
I'm not, sir. Why are
you are biased, sir. You come from a very, very convenient place. And you take up national... No, you take up time on national TV. I want to bring in... One second, let me bring in... No, we've heard you. We've heard you. Everything is a fakery. Everything is lies. Rafale was a big smoke screen. There was corruption. Today, Rafale is going to save India from the privations of China. Of course, that will all be forgotten. The same lot who argued for the cancelling of the deal lined up to salute the Rafale.
Have the Chinese withdrawn?
They argued against the Ram Mandir, denied the existence of Lord Ram. But when it came to the building and the construction in the Bhumi Pujan, each one of them, including the Priyanka Gandhi Vadras and the Rahul Gandhis, tweeted in the favor of the Ram Janam Bhumi Pujan. So viewers, these camp followers need to be exposed on a nightly basis. Otherwise, we are going to have a malignant coverage of every event, jaundiced coverage. 1 minute. Let me bring in the BJP, Rahul Narvekar, MLA and spokesperson. You see, for people like Sumansi Raman and company, this is all part of a political adventurous excursion where you are building for yourselves votes in Bihar and a constituency. Response, sir.
Well, Rahul, let me tell you at the outset, it's not the violence of the few that bothers the country today. It's the silence of the many. And the deafening silence and the conduct of the Maharashtra government as well as the police, Mumbai Police, is what worries every citizen in this country. I do not understand the resistance that is being expressed by the Maharashtra government for an impartial inquiry by the Central Bureau of Investigation. This is not the first time that a matter is being referred to CBI for investigation. Similar cases in the past have been referred to CBI. In fact, when this very parties in government were in the opposition, on several occasions they've demanded a CBI inquiry into matters which could have been investigated by the state police or by the Mumbai Police. Therefore, they have absolutely low locus or absolutely no reasoning to resist this inquiry, number one. Number two, with so many lacunas, with so many problems with the inquiry that has been conducted by the Mumbai Police, I don't understand any reasoning that the government could have to not refer this matter to the CBI. Number three, under the jurisprudence, criminal jurisprudence that is established in this country, in the case of Lalita Kumari versus the state of Bihar, the Supreme Court has given clear directions in paragraph 108 that after 7 days of inquiry, the police, if required, needs to file register a FIR. It has been over 2 months and the state police has failed to even register a FIR in this case. Can this be explained? This only indicates the unenthusiasm with which the police is working in this matter, and needless to say that this is being done at the behest and directives of their political bosses. This being the case, the Maharashtra government is not only answerable to the people of to the family of Sushant Singh Rajput, but to every citizen in this country. And we demand that the government of Maharashtra questions the police, Mumbai Police.
Okay, so you're saying that you're coming at it only from the interest of, no, you're coming at it only from the interest of truth. The politics cannot be attributed to you. Well, viewers, let me just tell you something. And I want to bring in Dr. Anand Ranganathan as well as Subhrashtra into this. I want to ask you very simply, but before that, I just want to make an observation. If the Mumbai Police has been bumbling around like Inspector Clouseau, then the Maharashtra government is their Cato Fong. That let me put out very clearly. Here there is, of course, an attempt being made by Dr. Sushant Singh to role reverse. It's not going to work, is it, Dr. Anand Ranganathan?
With due respect, I think Dr. Sumant Riman must be the only doctor who's rolled up his sleeves and jabbed himself with an anti-vax vaccine. I just want to ask just one question to him. It's again a yes or no question. In his opinion, do you think Rahul Shivshankar has ever proclaimed Rhea Chakraborty guilty, as she has said in her affidavit? Yes or no?
Excuse me. For the last 3 weeks, for all practical purposes, that is what has been done. That is what everybody, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. But the
all practical purposes.
Now, the facts do not back the evidence of a murder, at least as far as the autopsy report.
In fact, I think that would be most unfair. But the manner in which the investigation has been conducted is a problem.
Viewers, listen to me. If tomorrow we carried the statement of the victim's family alleging that Rhea Chakraborty was guilty, does that make us an accomplice, or should we just blank them out? Tomorrow, when there is high-handedness by the police,
Rahul,
should we not carry out...
It was a BJP Shiv Sena government.
That the Mumbai Police...
You know, I'll tell you something. Had this been another paradigm, had this been a communal case where there had been a killing by members of the majority community, of the minority community, they would have wanted us to play out every bit of conjecture, every bit of recorded statement, FIRs, everything to indict a particular community. Here it's problematic because it doesn't fit their political narrative.
You have to realize...
It won't fit their political narrative, Subhrashtra. Let's be honest. Today, let's be honest. There are powerful vested interests that are paying through their noses to misdirect and mislead this investigation. Now, I'm not saying X is guilty or Y is guilty, but certainly there are obvious inconsistencies. I mean, there are individuals who've not even been questioned till now. What explains that?
Who do you want them to question?
Subhrashtra.
Rahul? Yes.
The man who was...
Rahul, I think after the CBI investigation, the demand for CBI investigation was really heard by the central government. I think I stopped coming into studios to discuss this matter any further because I thought investigations are underway and struggles of millions of youngsters on the street and on social media was met with a very just response from the government of the day. However, I think the kind of narrative that has begun ever since the investigation have opened up by none other than Rhea Chakraborty, I think that's what forced people like us to start a discussion on this again. It's really unfortunate that people sitting in the panel who should really be advocating for justice are actually taking a stand against it. The simple point is that CBI has started investigating the case. Why can we not allow the CBI to do its job? Point number one. Point number two, if there are logical inconsistencies...
CBI from doing their job? I mean, if the media is discussing an issue which is of public importance...
I don't think I've stopped speaking yet.
Not allowing the CBI to do its job. Every night...
I don't understand why are you guys so rattled? I don't understand why.
Dr. Sushant Singh, it is Rhea Chakraborty who wants the CBI. She's even written it. No, hang on. She's even appealed in the Supreme Court today that let the CBI come in, but don't allow the Patna police. Have it court monitored and let the Mumbai Police investigate. What is this love for Mumbai Police which is bumbling around in the dark? Subhrashtra.
Rahul, which takes me back to what happened a couple of weeks ago. So please allow me to speak. I was patiently hearing all of you out.
Yeah, go ahead. Subhrashtra, go ahead.
Please allow me to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, if you remember, there was this one conversation which went on about this young leader from Maharashtra, young minister from Maharashtra apparently, who was possibly involved in the case. And pat came a response from Aditya Thackeray that he's not involved. And after that, still there are people who are defending the Maharashtra police. I really don't understand where are we going with this conversation. The facts are out there for people to see. Citizens of this country, youngsters of this country are rallying for justice. The only appeal is let the CBI do its job.
Do you know today, viewers, there are so many entrenched interests. There are so many people who are pushing the narrative of the underworld, all sorts of criminal syndicates, individuals who are hypothecated to those syndicates. Mr. Siddiqui, let's be honest, come on. Bollywood is not some clean place. Doesn't smell of roses. Tell me.
Yes. I don't think I'm the spokesperson for Bollywood, and
no one is asking you to be a spokesperson for Bollywood. We are only saying, can there not be questions asked in a particular investigation or of a particular group of people? Of course. Then what's the problem? Then say that. There is no problem. You disagree with Rhea Chakraborty when she tries to shut down Times Now. Say it. What's the big deal?
There's no big deal, and
there you go.
Of course, there's. I mean, every industry has to face scrutiny, and if it's a part of investigation and justice needs to be delivered, they need to participate. They can't act as celebrities there. They cannot start pulling strings. They cannot show.
Sundar Balakrishnan, that's the answer. You can't think that you're greater than. Yes.
Yeah, Rahul, let me tell you one thing. I will start with political adventurism. I have been listening to Narayan Rane, Nilesh Rane taking out names of Aditya Thackeray and Thackeray family in the state. Okay? Now, if the police is supposed to be protecting somebody, why can't the media come out and say who is being protected, which is a politician? Why is media not coming out? Second thing is,
no, who should come out? Who should come out? Who should come out?
No, the problem is,
who should come out? Who should come out? Who should come out?
Media. I'm talking about media.
Oh, which media? Which media?
You're giving importance to such people.
Which
who
media?
Have any proof
Which importance, sir? Did we? No, hang on. 1 second. Without fact. Don't talk without fact. 1 second. This family of Sushant Singh Rajput, 1 minute, listen to me. In February, raised an alarm over Sushant Singh Rajput's, no, hang on, safety. They said that he was under threat. And guess who kept, no, 1 second, listen to me now. Mr. Balakrishnan, no, you can't have it both ways. When the media asks the questions, then you accuse them of being discriminatory and biased. When they don't ask the question and they don't fill in the blanks for you, which is not our job. It is not our job.
No,
okay.
Why not? If you can give the platform to such people who doesn't have any proof.
Well, the commissioner.
What do you mean? Give a platform to people who don't have a proof. WhatsApp messages are not proof for you.
Said about this February complaint.
No, WhatsApp. It's not BJP WhatsApp. It's not a BJP
Where is your sense of? No, 1 second. You say there is no proof. There is proof. WhatsApp messages saying that Sushant Singh Rajput's life is in danger. Can you please institute an inquiry? And it's not done. What does that tell you?
February 25th. Complaint has no meaning at all.
Going to act on the WhatsApp. Tell me, will you act? Will you act on a WhatsApp message?
Yes, because it is Supreme Court and the High Court have both said it's okay. Supreme Court and High Court have both said. Subhrashtra wants to come in on this point. Yes, Subhrashtra.
Yes, Rahul, I don't understand one very simple thing. The father of Sushant Singh Rajput, a superstar in some sense of the term, reports to the Mumbai Police, whether it is over a WhatsApp call or a WhatsApp forward or whatever. Should the police not have taken that into cognizance?
Now let me break it down for you in simple terms, viewers. If you are working, 1 second, This is how absurd Sundar Balakrishnan is sounding today. And the question is, why? Now let me give you an example.
Rahul,
if supposing you are working as a young man or a woman in Delhi, and you realize that your parents who are living in Mumbai, who are elderly, are under threat, should you not be able to call the police and tell them, can you please check up on my parents? That's the police's job. No one can stop you. You can send a message, you can pick up a call, and you can pick up a phone and you can call, and the police have to report it. They have to report it. They have to file an FIR. There is a Supreme Court judgment. These people, I'm asking you, Mr. Siddiqui, are you going to lie tonight and tell us, as a man of the law, that there is no Supreme Court judgment saying this?
No. As a matter of fact, Supreme Court, forget Supreme Court of India, the law is very specific. Section 149 and 150 of CRPC talks about preventive measures, and the police has to take action on preventive measures.
There you go.
Even if there was no
there you go. Mr. Balakrishnan, don't lie.
Yes.
On national TV.
No.
Rahul,
What do you mean, no?
Not lie. I am asking you something. I am asking you.
Disgusting.
You as a person,
What do you mean asking me something? Don't change horses mid-course.
Rahul, I need to come in here.
Yes, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Rahul, can I
quickly,
please
need
come
to move
in?
on. Yes, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Yes. Rahul, there is a meme of gangs of Wasipur where two people are walking and suddenly one guy removes his chappal marne ke liye. I shudder to think if some of these panelists were lawyers, this is what their clients would have done. You know, they go by opinion making. One of the panelists just told you, why don't you opine on the fact? Who is the politician? All you have been doing is listing out the facts. Now all they have done all their lives is give an opinion. Ambani chor hai, Adani chor hai, Modi chor hai, Chaukidar chor hai, all these things. They don't care about facts. Now tell me why should you make an opinion as to which politician name is there if you don't have the facts? All you have done is given the facts. Can they rebut this argument? It's ridiculous.
They can't, you see, they can't. And look at those pictures, viewers, any moment now, Rhea Chakraborty, we are being told, is going to come out. Yes, Subrashtra wants to make a point.
Yes.
Hey, listen, you're a liar. Mr. Balakrishnan, you're a liar. 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 That's all I have to say to you. Four-letter word.
Rahul,
yes.
Many people on this panel and beyond this panel even raised objections as to why this issue is being, raised by so many youngsters out there. Let me tell you, it's not just Sushant Singh Rajput who committed suicide. I'm not going to get into the metaphorical poesy of how he represented the dreams of millions of youngsters out there. There have been two other cases of suicide in Bombay. Samir Sharma and Anupama Pathak, a Bhojpuri actress, committed suicide. I'm trying to put is there is a very stressful life out there, and there
any moment now, Rhea to leave ED office. Last time she almost spoke to the media. This time she might be doing exactly the same. She might in fact speak to the media. I want to go straight across to Priyank Tripathi. Priyank, what's happening? Rhea today has moved against times now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Priyank Tripathi, can you hear me? How long has the investigation been going on? Yes, the interrogation? Yes, go ahead. What's happening there?
See, Rahul, it's been more than 8 hours since all these individuals are being questioned at this Enforcement Directorate office right here in the city of Mumbai. And as you can see, there's a deployment which has increased. Although it's raining, my video journalist Mojo is trying his level best to give the best pictures for our viewers. So what we can tell it to you that it's been more than 8 hours since this questioning is going on. And this is for the first time when all these key players of this case are being grilled by the Enforcement Directorate. All 6 of them are here. On the other side, the Central Bureau of Investigation has already recorded the statement of the main complainant in this case, who is Mr. K.K. Singh, father of late Sushant Singh Rajput. So we are expecting that Rhea Chakraborty, her father and her brother would be coming out anytime soon from this main gate of Enforcement Directorate. Although last time her brother was questioned for 18 hours, today Shruti Modi and Ritesh Shah, the chartered accountant and the manager of Sushant Singh Rajput, are also here. And for the first time, Rahul, Siddharth Pitani, the man who has been consistently changing his statement on the news hour, is also being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. So two sort of investigation by two central agencies going on. The ED has been drilling all these individuals since more than 9 hours. So that is what is there on the ground. Looking at the movement of the Maharashtra police officers, it appears that they will be coming out anytime soon, or either one of them will be coming out.
What are the questions that have been posed, in fact, to Rhea Chakraborty and her family?
See, Rhea Chakraborty has been questioned regarding the financial transaction. Like the 2018 flat, which was purchased by her, certainly does not collaborate with the kind of income tax return which she had filed. The total sum of income tax return which was filed by Rhea Chakraborty, Rahul, as we are keeping you on the visuals, was around 18.5 lakh for 2 consecutive years. But the 53 lakh, flat which was purchased by her is certainly not showing in the income tax return. So she is being questioned about income tax return. Siddharth Pitani is being questioned that how come he kept on, taking money from Sushant Singh Rajput's account. In his defense, he has said that there were two sort of help which were, working for Sushant Singh Rajput. One, those who were salaried, like the domestic help, the driver, the cleaner and other individual, and other one who were in the close coterie who used to take money on priority basis. So this is the defense of Siddharth Pitani. On the other side, Rhea Chakraborty's father has said that Sushant and Rhea wanted both him to be partner in one of the business after he left his job as the head of administration at a hospital in the city of Mumbai. Henceforth, he joined. So all these individuals are giving the picture from their perspective, but the ED officials are smart enough to grill them, Rahul, because they have done their homework. They have all the detail of all the account detail which were available on internet-based platform.
Because there is obviously an anomaly, and this anomaly is that as Rhea Chakraborty's income dipped, her total net fixed asset value increased. In fact, there was a jump of more than 800%. How does this happen? Has she explained it? Because many people felt that money was being pilfered from the accounts of Sushant Singh Rajput through companies that were floated to be used as special purpose vehicles for this.
See, Rahul, certainly there's no clear-cut answer which has come out from Rhea Chakraborty according to our sources. That's why she was told to come once again back. She was questioned on 7th and she was once again told to join the investigation on 10th.
Now, Ketan Vaidya, stonewalling is happening, no clear answers. Mr. Vaidya, no clear answers coming. These are the questions that the Mumbai Police should have been asking 60 days ago. Wouldn't you want to know?
Well, clearly... Sorry, come again?
Would you not want to know the answers to these questions?
Absolutely. And the fact that ED is investigating shows the keenness of the investigating agency. And the Maharashtra government has never doubted or questioned the fact that ED is investigating all these charges.
Oh, I see.
So clearly, the problem
so then why have they objected to the central agencies?
The conclusion.
Then why are they objecting to the central agencies?
Maharashtra government is hand in glove.
No one is saying that, sir. No one is saying that. All we are asking is why is it that the Maharashtra government has still not probed the police? More movement there. Viewers, let's just raise the net up there. It could be. Let's go full frame to those pictures. Any moment now, Rhea Chakraborty is going to be stepping out. Yes, movement. A lot of movement there, Priyank. A lot of movement. What's happening?
Certainly, Rahul, what we can see that she would be in the last stage of writing the question which is sought, because generally the Enforcement Directorate and the central agencies first record the statement and then the accused will have to write it on their own handwriting. So that
we're just going to keep those pictures on the screen for you viewers on one side. I'm going to go quickly across to Arvind, who is reporting out of Jaipur. Big development there. Arvind joins me. Let's keep a check on these visuals. The lights have come on near the exit of the and the entrance really of the ED office. Any moment now, Rhea Chakraborty is going to stare out. But I just want to go straight across. We are being told that Sachin Pilot has thrown in the towel, Arvind, and Sachin Pilot is returning now to Jaipur. It's all over. The big revolt is over. Very quickly.
Yes, that's right, Rahul. Coup by Sachin Pilot has failed in Rajasthan, but Congress has accepted all of them back, and that is why we are told that Sachin Pilot would be coming back to Jaipur and he would be attending the assembly session starting from the 14th.
Okay.
So clearly, he has met Rahul Gandhi and...
Okay, it's been papered over. The problems have been papered over. Run out of time. Lot of developments towards the end of our show. We will continue with these developments into the news hour with Navika Kumar. Stay with us, viewers. Don't go away.